Hi, Mom. Welcome. Welcome.
Hi Tash, how you doing?
I'm good. I think it's important that you tell everyone the first thing you said when I turned on the Zoom.
Oh, I don't know if people are gonna like me. I'm nervous.
You said, "Why are you wearing that stupid hat?" Because if you're listening
Oh,
to this on audio, you'll
you-
see on the video version I have a peach background and a dancing happy birthday hat on, and I thought that was a good way to get started. Thank you so much for coming on. So this podcast is airing on July 15th, which is 2 days before my 40th birthday. So congratulations, you have an old kid.
that just means I'm old, but it's okay.
Yeah, not that old, actually. So we have just a few questions. I thought it would be fun, instead of doing our normal podcast, just do a kind of a fun interview with my mom. And I think we need to start off by asking you, are you so excited for your daughter's birthday?
Well, I am excited. I would have been more excited if coronavirus wasn't here, but yes, of course I am.
That's good. And so I'm 40. That makes me old. I have to wear my glasses, and it's kind of a bummer. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the way things have turned out for me, I think, and hopefully you are too. So I have some questions for you, just some lessons that I've learned that I think would be really helpful for the people listening. And then they have some questions for you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to chat about is you have two sayings. I quote you often. One is life sucks and then you die,
Oh, that doesn't
which I
sound very
think most people would think is not very encouraging, but you mean it to be encouraging. So can you explain what that means?
nice. Of course. When you were growing up with your brother, we would get into parents children disagreements, or kids want to do something, and I wouldn't want them to do it. So we made a joke out of it. And we said that, at least I said that I was going to win the worst mommy prize by doing all the things to torture you guys. And if I ever did anything nice, um, you know, uh, they were lucky. And so I kind of made believe that all the bad things happen because that's what life is supposed to be, to get to the good things. And so that's just my way of having fun and getting through to my kids that you got to do things in life that you don't like. And the inevitable thing is, in the end, we all know, but anything else is a bonus and great. So that's what I really mean when I say life sucks and then you die, because it's just to give you encouragement to go through the tougher times in life, so we can appreciate all the good things that happens, because those things are going to happen. We're all going to go through struggles, and in the end, we're all going to die. And that's not a bad thing. That's life. But to enjoy all the other things and appreciate all the other things on the way. So that's kind of what I meant by it.
Yeah, I love that. I don't remember it being linked to you winning the worst mom prize. I mean, I
I
remember the
tried,
worst mom prize.
I tried to win the worst mommy prize, but I don't know. It's like I always did something nice and caring, and you guys would never give me the worst mommy prize, even though I tried each time.
I don't remember any of those nice things you're talking about.
Okay, I'm sure.
We can backdate.
Okay, we'll go back and do those things again.
So what's funny as you're saying that is that you had the worst mom prize and dad had the best baby prize.
Right.
And no, none of us ever won either of those.
Yeah, well, you know why neither one of you won the best baby prize, right?
No.
Let's not go there.
My dad would give the best baby prize to Neighbors, which was funny. His way of being funny. Okay, the other saying is,
we have a weird sense of humor in our family. What to say?
yeah, well, I think as I think about the worst mommy prize, I think about the moniker that I have as the mean coach.
Oh,
Did you
you
know that?
Copy me again, Tosh. Look, you and I look identical right now.
Well, if I didn't have my coronavirus hair is not right, you copied my haircut. I had that haircut first. You copied the haircut.
No,
There's
you
not a
copy.
whole lot else we have in common there, but yeah, they call me Mean. I got a medal actually that said Mean Coach on it. So I actually
Well, at
won.
least you got a medal. You guys never got me the Mean Mommy Prize medal.
Yep. Well, you didn't try hard enough. I'm a winner.
Yeah, that's true.
So other saying is they don't take love at Lucky's. So what does that one mean?
Well, that kind of goes back to a relationship that you were in. And we would talk about the differences in you and that individual who you were in a relationship with. And very nice person, but where I saw you going in your life was flying through the sky. And where I saw him was a super nice guy sitting around watching basketball with me and my husband. So, so when I would try to talk to you about it, you would always say, "But Mom, I love him." And I would say, "But babe, they don't take love at Lucky's." And for those of you too young to know what Lucky's is, Lucky's used to be a supermarket, any normal supermarket in your hometown. So it used to be a supermarket. So I would say the point of that was we can love all we like, but love is not all. And when you don't have money, you know, to buy basic necessities of life or go through life, you know, love is not going to get you the things that you need. You need a lot more than love. You need love, but you need to be able to, you know, have a career, have a business, have something that can help you run your life. So that was just my way of trying to teach you that love is not enough for everything in life. You need all the other things as well.
Yeah, so that one my clients hear too.
Okay.
And it sounds kind of like they don't take rank at Lucky's or they don't take recognition at Lucky's. You know, a lot of in business, there's all these different things you can measure that are considered vanity metrics.
Right.
Right? Like they make you look really good, but they aren't necessarily actually dollars.
Right.
And it's more fun to measure those things. So if you've heard something like that, that's where that came from. So how do you think those, do you have any other good sayings that maybe I missed?
I have to work really hard at making sure Charlie will stay married to you. Just kidding.
You don't have a say. The only saying is be nice, Tasha. And you know what he does? He walks behind you and he stares and he laughs. Because what he does is he antagonizes me. I respond and then he laughs.
We have a funny sense of humor in our house.
Yeah. Okay, so I kind of want to ask you the question about why you didn't propose to Charlie.
Why I had to propose to Charlie?
Why didn't you propose to Charlie? So do you remember that whole weekend? You had the chance to lock him down and you didn't take it.
Well, my mom proposed to my brother-in-law, but
how did that proposal go?
They're married 25 years later.
Well, I remember it was, are you going to marry her or not? And he said, yes.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, it was just a couple months after you were dating. And I think it was the only guy you introduced me to that you were dating, the second guy, because the other guys were myths or stories you told me about.
Mm-hmm.
And because when you were growing up, I tried to teach you to be honest. But one time you came and you said, Mom, this one guy tried to kiss me. And I said, way too honest. But so Charlie was just the second guy you brought home. And I was really scared because I wanted to like him. I wanted him to like us. And I had a feeling that it wouldn't be just any guy you brought. And so I think you met him, if my memory serves me, in August. And this was Thanksgiving weekend. And he came and he stayed with us. And the next morning, if I recollect, you came down and you hid in a blanket.
Yes.
We have a blanket thing in our family. We all need to have a blanket on us, even if it's 100 degrees in our house and the air conditioning going. But she hid in a blanket, and Charlie looked at me and told me that I need to tell you something. I need to tell you that I'm gonna marry your daughter within
A year.
within a year, and we're gonna have kids within 2 years. By the time she turns 30, by the time. And that's what, and then I was like, okay, let's set a wedding date. I was ready. So it didn't take me much time to go with the plan.
Yeah. Well, the funny backstory was that you had joked for a few days before with Mo, my aunt, and you that you were going to propose to Charlie the way that
my mom proposed.
Yeah. And so anyways, the conversation that we had the night before, he told me the same thing, and then I freaked out, and then he thought that was funny, so he came and told you. And then he also said, I don't understand why you didn't propose. Am I not marriage material? I thought, you remember him saying that?
Now I do, but I'd forgotten earlier. Yeah.
And I said, well, this guy, like, this is good. He can play along with every single antic that our family does. He rolls with it. And it's pretty great.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Okay, so we have some fan questions.
Okay. My fans, your fans?
They're my fans.
Okay.
They might become your fans.
They might be my fans after this interview.
That's true. They might be. What did you think I would grow up to be?
Well, I always saw you, me and your grandfather, my father, we always saw you as becoming like a big CEO of a multinational firm or something like that, running the show. And based on your education, when you decided to go into and study law, I actually thought you were going to be a lawyer. And I thought it'd be really good because you were really good at arguing. So, but
I still am really good at arguing.
Yes, you are. Some strengths just get stronger with time.
What's the secret that gave me the taco obsession?
I think that you created yourself.
I did. So, okay, if you did not follow me on social media.
I do. Of course,
okay,
you're my
say if you didn't, what would you say my actual favorite food is? Foods.
Well, I know you love tacos.
Well, right, but you know that because I constructed that brand. But if you would have 3 years ago, would you have said that?
No. Mm-mm. Your favorite food? Well, we used to have to go to Tony Roma's all the time for ribs and barbecue chicken. So you do love that, and you do love some of the traditional Indian food, especially when you're looking for comfort. And yeah, so that's what I know your favorite foods to be.
And French fries.
Oh yeah, you love French fries.
Pizza.
Oh yeah, well everybody loves pizza, Taj.
Well,
it's delicious.
I know. But the taco thing came up because of my rash. I couldn't have French fries or pizza, so the only option left was tacos.
That's true.
And I had to start eating them every day. And that's how that happened.
All right. Taco Power.
Taco
Power.
Taco Power is great, and it's great for branding.
Yes.
What makes you giggle when you think of me?
When I think of you, well, you told me the other day that you were gonna dress up all and you needed time to get dressed and put on makeup. And that made you needed to get all dressed up, and that made me giggle because you don't really wear makeup or get dressed up in the traditional sense. So that kind of made me giggle the other way.
How high maintenance I am to look low maintenance.
Yes, yes. You said it takes a lot of time to look this
I
good.
was late to this meeting because I couldn't find the right hoodie.
Yeah, I know.
It was in my trunk.
You know, life sucks.
And then, yeah, we know what happens next. What
Yep.
makes you giggle when you think about the kids and Charlie? Or
Um, the kids, let's see, Charlie. When you mention grandkids, then everybody else kind of just goes out the window. Sorry, Charlie, I love you. My grandkids, well, my littlest one, Haley G.S. Smith. Zoe's just so sweet, and her giggling makes me giggle because she giggles all the time. She's a giggle monster. And Haley is just out to probably rule the world one day.
mm-hmm. Of
But the cutest little story, if I have time for a tiny story,
course.
is one day I picked up the girls. Maybe Haley was 3 or 4, I don't recall. And I picked them up for lunch. And as soon as we're walking into Jack in the Box, Haley said to me, Nani, I already had my sugar for the day. So I looked at her and I said, okay, I'm not asking you to have sugar because, I know how you've been teaching them not to have too much sugar and all that. So we went inside and they ate lunch, and Zoe ordered some drinks. So Haley wanted some. So I said, sure, because that time she forgot about the sugar, right? Then my rule for the kids is once they eat their lunch or their meal, they can go get dessert. So we went over to the donut store and Zoe inhaled her donut. Haley ate a little bit and said, I'm going to take it home. And I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. So then you happened to call me that evening at 5 or 6 p.m. and said, you ready for this one, Mom? And I said, sure. And you said that Haley had finished her donut, I think.
Yeah.
And had taken a nap and woken up and wanted a cookie or something. And correct me in my recollection if I don't remember exactly. And she started acting crabby. And you said to her, see what happens? Something, right? What did you say? That
I don't think I said anything. I said, what's wrong? And this is what happens when your
and then
mother.
Said, tell your mother. She said, then she looked at you and said, tell your mother not to feed me so much sugar. And I could not believe that, girl. And if anyone's going to supersede you, my girl, that's going to be Haley G.S. Smith, because she's a force to be reckoned with. And I said, excuse me, tell your mother not to feed me so much sugar. Or the other time when I picked them up and she was leaving to spend the night, and she told you, good night, Mom. You can sleep with your husband tonight.
Yes.
So that made me giggle because, just for those who don't know, she at that time used to sleep with her daddy every night. So that night she gave Tasha the permission to sleep with Charlie. And I think she was only like 3 years old. So I'm sure she's still ruling.
Yeah, she walks in the room and she says, let's go. And he grabs his Star Wars blanket and follows her.
So
yeah, they're funny.
Yeah.
What do you think about the dog?
Piper? Nobody shoot me. I'm not a pet person. I did have a dog once in my life, and I got it for the kids. And I learned that I was not a dog person, especially when she threw up under the bed after eating raw ground beef that she got out of my grocery bags. But then Tasha decided to get a dog, and I'm like, no. But Piper's actually really sweet, and they've got her addicted to to Indian food. So I'm going to answer 2 questions by Haley makes me giggle again about your dog, because every time I come over, Piper will come running to me and Haley will say, oh, it's your chicken curry lady. She's here. It's chicken curry lady. So no, but your dog is really sweet. She's a sweet dog. I still don't want to babysit her, but she's still sweet.
Yeah, she is a good dog, and she does love your chicken curry. If one day I was having it in my office, and she was hunting for it. She's
So
sniffing
cute.
all the walls, trying to find where is that smell coming from. It's pretty funny.
She's very sweet, and she's got the most beautiful eyes. So I do like her eyes a lot.
She does. What 3 things do you think you did in parenting that allowed me to rise up? They think very highly of me, so don't mock them.
I'm not mocking anyone. Well, I would say the first thing, I believe, watching you grow, that you're capable of doing anything you set your mind to. And so I've always encouraged you to do that. And if you want to reach the stars, go for it, because I'm a huge believer in it doesn't hurt to try. And another thing I try to teach my kids, that in life, all we can do is try our best. So just give it whatever you have, whatever it may be. And the result is what's meant to happen. And you just always just have to try your best. And then my third famous saying that you may not remember that well, but my staff at work knows, is it is what it is, and but we can't give up our effort in doing the things that are important to us. And I think I always did tell you to tell the truth, be honest to others, but more than anything, I believe we have to be honest to ourselves. And in the end, it's us, we got to look in the mirror. So I've tried to teach you to be a good human being, which you are, and just do the right thing, believe in yourself. And from every failure, we learn so much. So I don't think any experience is a negative experience, because I think it teaches us a lot of different lessons in our lives.
Yeah, that's deep.
Oh, sorry, you wasn't supposed to get...
No, it's weird to hear you like summarize it in this format, right? Like it just kind of seeps over, your whole lifetime, these little things, but to actually hear you say that is kind of cool and weird.
Well, I don't know if you remember, we had a lunch after you closed your Cutco business, and you were really down on yourself, very dejected, because you are an overachiever and you couldn't believe that you failed at something. But I think sometimes failing at something, being humble and learning a lesson from it, I remember us sitting, I think it was El Torito, and eating. And I remember you telling you that there was nothing bad about you owning your practice. There was nothing bad about you losing money in the business. There was nothing. You've learned so many skills from handling a business and managing a business. Whether you fail or you succeed, the skill set doesn't go away. And I see you using those skill sets in everything that you've endeavored on after that. And so how can anything be a bad thing if you've learned so much from it,
Yeah, agree. Cool. What parenting tips do you have for raising strong-minded children? I'm going to take notes here on this one, because my little one makes me look like I'm high on weed.
Yeah, I know your little one. Yes, she's a sweetheart. It was hard for me in the beginning, in all honesty, because I dreamt, like a lot of women do, of this. I always wanted to have a daughter first. I had your name picked out. From some of you may have seen a movie called War and Peace. There was a book and a movie about the Russian Revolution. And in there was Princess Natasha. And so when I was 14 or 15, I saw that movie and I said, whenever I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Natasha. So there you came. I never had to think about names or anything. Your dad didn't have any issues with it. So I named you Natasha. And I dressed you in frilly dresses and curls and, had my dream. And I thought that you just, as soon as you realized what you were wearing, you decided you didn't like those anymore. And you would pull them off and I'd put them on. And your aunt and I, my sister, on your birthday, I remember we forced you on the stairs. She held you down where I put a frilly dress. And you walked downstairs after that and you pulled it off and put on your shorts. And then even when you kept the dress on, I have pictures of you in the back with a baseball bat in your frilly dress. So, and then you joined Little League, and I couldn't take you to practice. So my friend and neighbor, my dearest friend Kelly, would take you to practice. So where this is all going is I finally learned, you know what? I'm going to have to embrace this one, but I'm going to have to provide guidance and parameters. And, but I'm going to have to embrace what my child is all about, what she's good at, and encourage that to be the best that you can be in whatever you enjoy doing and to be good at. So, that's the only tip I have is provide the boundaries, guidance. And one thing for you, at least, Haley may be a little different, but for you, you were very good about staying within your boundaries that I provided for you. But the acceptance had to come from inside. And I think you probably don't even know this, but I finally had acceptance at one of your Little League games where you were the only girl on the team. And the person next to me was like, oh my God, she just pitched a no-hitter. And first I had to figure out what that was. But I was like, you know what? This is what I just have to support her in whatever her passions are. And I recognized your strength and just allowed you to run with it within parameters.
Yeah, you were mean in junior high. I wasn't able to. You should have won the worst mommy. No, because you went back on your word. So you were very Indian, and you said you cannot play junior high basketball because you need to focus on your grades. I did not like that. And then I got straight A's, and you let me join the team halfway through the season. So yeah. That's why you didn't win. You would have won if you didn't cave.
I always believe, whether it's right or wrong, that in my staff at work, I manage a huge group of people at work, that you do what you need to do, what are important things in life, and whatever that may be to each person. I'm not going to define that, but the things that are the responsible things, and then go have all the fun that you like in this life. I never stopped my kids from doing anything they wanted. I never, said, oh, I just said, do your work first. Got to do. So my kids, so they could go out and have fun, they had to do good in school. And, for you, it came pretty naturally, I think. Mm-hmm. But you were hard, but you were always very focused. You always I always say, me and my sister talk about you a lot. And we always say, Tasha always gives like 150% to anything that she does, good, bad, like, and so, yeah. So with Haley, I'm not sure how many boundaries she's going to stick within, but you can try.
Now, we've already had to threaten to take the door off of her closet because she was eating candy in there.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out.
She may be defining your boundaries for you.
Yeah, I think that's what that is.
But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You actually stayed. You hated it. And you would be mad at me, but you would never. It's so interesting as a mom to say that about a teenager, at least not that I know of, because I can promise you, your little brother did not do the same. But you would be mad about something if I didn't allow you to do, but you would never go against my back and sneak out or do something you weren't supposed to do, at least not that I know of. But
no, never. Because so I never, went against that. So did Neeraj say yes, Mom, and snuck out?
He didn't really say much. He just kind of smiled his innocent smile and did whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
So he was no conflict.
Which kid is the bad kid? Your favorite?
Yeah, no, he's not a bad kid. Neither are you. You guys are just completely opposites. So it's hard to know, right? When you get two kids and you're raising them in the same way, and then they turn out to be completely opposites, So, but he's a good guy.
You've mentioned we'll talk about this last question about my childhood, and then we'll kind of talk about your team at work that you keep talking about. Okay. So what's a funny memory that you have of me as a child, that when I was around maybe Zoe and Haley's age?
Okay, yeah, I do have interesting memory. Somehow it stuck with me. So as I mentioned, you're very focused. I don't know if this is funny, but it's a memory that sticks with me. Couple small ones. One was when you wanted to date someone when you were 13, 14, I don't remember.
Oh, I was
And
older than that. I think I was like 12.
yeah, and I said no. And you said why? And I said because. And you said, let me try to remember. You said something like, um, Mom, we're just going to go out. And I said, out where? With whom? What? And you said, Mom, going out just means it's, hold on. Oh gosh, I'm losing it.
I remember.
It's a oh, you said, going out. We're not going anywhere, Mom. It's a public acknowledgement that we're a couple. And I'm like, a public acknowledgement at age 12? No. And you were not happy with me about that.
You ruined
And
my life.
yeah, I did ruin your life. Are you ruining Haley's life?
Of course. But I got you back because we went to my senior prom. Same guy.
I didn't know that.
You know what was sad? Same guy.
You have to tell me these things on camera, huh? Okay.
Well,
That's Charlie.
I observed your rules with a pout. Yeah, it was
You-
Tad. You knew Tad.
Yeah.
And my senior year, we didn't go to the same high school, but I was like, I don't know, who do I want to go with? And I was like, I'll go with you. You're just as much of my friend as anybody at my high school, and you don't go to my high school, and you're the cutest one out of all of them.
Yeah, he was pretty handsome. I still have the pictures.
Yeah.
And all I was happy about you going to the dance, that you actually dressed up, put on makeup, and looked like the beautiful princess that you did when you were 1. So I was super happy.
So I think.
Oh, the other one, I want to tell you about the other one.
Hmm.
The other one was when we went to India. And you may not recall this, but we went to India, and we live in a pretty small part of the country, and we don't have electricity a lot of the time. So you focused, so we went during school time. So you had lots of homework to do. And there's a bunch of kids running around, all your cousins playing, having fun, and you are in the worst mood, as usual, with the frown at that time. And I looked at you because I'm always smiling and happy, and so is your dad. So I was like, okay, God, this child who doesn't smile much, okay. So trying to make you hang out with your cousins, and you just came up to me and I said, why are you upset? And you're like, the light. There's not enough voltage in these lights for me to do my homework, Mom. I need to do my homework. And I was like, oh God, I'm trying to get you to have fun with your cousins, but your focus was there from the time you were a little child, that you had to get done what you needed to do, and that was your homework.
Well, didn't you just explain to everyone that that was one of the lessons you have been trying to teach me?
Yeah, but I wanted you to smile and have fun too. So
Well, if you wanted me to smile and have fun, why'd you try to get me to wear dresses?
Yeah, well, I learned not to, right? I don't do that anymore, do I?
I mean, you still ask me at everything, is that what you're going to wear? I mean, you're telling me you don't have an emotional reaction that I showed up to this with my happy birthday hooded sweatshirt on?
Not an emotional reaction, just a reaction.
You knew I had to stay on brand.
Yes.
See, now I can blame it all on staying on brand. These are all business decisions that I've made with my marketing strategist to wear a sweatshirt.
I see you like this all the time because I'm just waiting for the day when your brother gets married, and then you're going to end up being the makeup girl, the beautiful gowns again. So those are the times I live for.
That's not going to send me to therapy or anything.
That's just kidding.
Okay, so what do you do for work? I think that this is actually one of my favorite stories about careers.
I work, I have a background in accounting. I'm a CPA. I don't work as a CPA in the traditional sense. I actually work for the state of California Franchise Tax Board, which is just like the IRS, just the state version. So we do the same thing. We audit tax returns. And so I started there working as an auditor. And then I moved my way up, and I actually now manage all of Southern California audits of all the personal income tax payers. So, we have corporations, we have S corps, LLCs, businesses, and our group, my group, does audits of individuals. So I have 5 different offices that I manage, and I manage the managers who manage the staff. So that's what I do for a living. And it's really interesting how I went up into accounting. When I was, I think, expecting your brother, I just decided to go back to school to do something. And your father, you may not be aware of this, but since your father had gotten very ill at a very early age in life, he was very scared, because I had just graduated from high school, finished high school when I got married. And he was very scared. He wanted me to have a career. So I decided to go to this, like a technical school. And I couldn't decide. So there was computer programming and accounting, and I didn't know which one to pick. So I went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and I actually picked
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I picked accounting because it was very marketable, right? All areas need an accounting type of a job. So I went ahead and picked that. And once I got into it, I realized that I was really good at it. And so I loved doing spreadsheets. I loved coming debits and credits at the end. And I ended up actually teaching there a couple of years later. But your father really wanted me to have a career if something happened to him, because, he was very ill at a young age, and he didn't know what his, how long he was going. So thank God he's still alive, and doing well. But that's how my career started. And when I was good at it, I just kind of kept on going at it. But at one point, my brother, who's a psychologist, we were going, I don't know what we're talking about, but anyway, he told me to take this test, psychology test. And I think the name of the book is Who Am I, or something like that. I can't recall.
I thought it was What Color is Your Parachute?
No, I never took that one. I didn't take, I took Who Am I? Who am I? Something like that. I let you guys know. It's the Myers-Briggs test or something. But so when I took it and I read my, explanation of who I was, which I was an extrovert, intuitive, something, I can't remember. And it said there that people like me should be in the public arena. People like me should be in television, films, marketing, things like that. And it actually says in there that the one career they should never be in is accounting. And I was like, oh my God, after I got a bachelor's in accounting, I shouldn't have been in accounting. Because accounting requires you to mostly stay by yourself, work on spreadsheets and things. And they said that my skills were much, much, much more suited to be interacting with other people. That's what I was good at. So after I found that out, I was like, oh God, I have a good job in accounting. And but I loved people. It was very natural for me to talk to people, to listen. Everybody wants to tell me their problems, to help them. And I said, now, how do I do that? How do I manage this? And I decided, okay, best way is to go into management of those people. And for anyone who is a manager of a bunch of people, a big part of our time, and this is in a very respectful way I'm saying, is babysitting. You gotta guide them, you gotta mentor them. And it's not only technical, you gotta talk to them about their personal lives, the issues, the challenges they go through, because anyone is a whole once they're made of, their work is one part of their life, but whether that work is successful or not depends a lot of how they're doing in other aspects of their life. So I felt like I really found my niche. So but to get there, I had to be good at accounting, right? To get successful. So I had to be a good analyst. But oh my God, I hated it. And you guys will laugh, but like when I would go on audits, those times I used to audit C corporations, and I would go to these big corporate offices in Newport Beach, overlooking the ocean, and they would sit me and they would give me these big, big journals, those old times, they weren't computerized, so big, thick journals. And I'd look at it and start flipping it. And then I would like peek out the door and I would say, is there anybody around I can talk to? Because it would just drive me crazy to sit in this room going through these multi-million dollar books to try to come up with a determination, because I could do it, but it wasn't where my skill set really lay. And I really love what I do now. It sounds, anybody who meets me is like, oh, you're an auditor, but I'm not. All I do is I manage people. You know, I work with their weaknesses, I work with their strengths, I guide, I mentor. But I was really lucky that I was able to find and recognize what I was good at, and was able to take my career that I shouldn't have been in and use those skills to my advantage.
Yeah.
And many skills I had to learn along the way, you know, to be assertive, because as an auditor, you have to be assertive. So in management, I have to use that assertiveness sometimes, you know, but I bring with my assertiveness a general tone of a lot of caring and, you know, really caring for that person's well-being wholly. And I think that's what helps me be successful in my career.
Yeah, I think that's good. That I love that story, because I think, well, did you get, when you found out you weren't supposed to be an accountant and you had a bachelor's in accounting, did anyone tell you that life sucks and then you die?
No, I knew that already. I'm like, okay. No, because I knew that I think what I liked about accounting, and it's interesting because it made the time go by really fast. You know, when I was like in my class and I'm just like working on my spreadsheets, I'd looked up and it was like, oh, it was like 6 hours later. And so I thought, hey, this is a good career for me, you know, because you go to work and you don't want to watch the clock. So it was good. But believe me, it's much better talking about people's lives with them. It makes the time go much faster, and it's much more enjoyable to someone like me. But it's all who you are as a person too, you know. Like my sister, when she went into management, she said, oh God, people come and talk to me about their problems. I don't want to hear it. So, you know, that's my strength, and that's what I'm good at. So we all need. Another thing related to this is I took another test, and the psychology tests are actually really interesting because I've taken 4 or 5 of them, and I end up in the same area. So it's interesting, even though they call them different things. And I'd encourage everyone to take one if you haven't. It's pretty good. And one was, I ended up being, there's a one that's inspirational steadiness, DISC profile. If you guys haven't heard of it, I've seen it's excellent, DISC.
Yep.
I ended up, when I took it, I ended up a very high I, that I'm very inspirational. And I was like, wow, this is at work. I'm like, okay. So, because I was thinking, you know, I'm an accountant, right? So most accountants are very high S and C, which are conscientious and steadiness, because you need, you know, and I was like, inspirational. And our instructor told me, he says, yeah, there's very few of you at the franchise tax board because you're not supposed to be there. And I'm like, yeah, that's what that other test told me, that I shouldn't be in accounting. You know, so I think that's a good arena if anyone is trying to figure things out. You know, it doesn't hurt. I always look at it this way. It doesn't hurt, you know, to look at it, to see where you're, you know, luckily for me, I got lucky and I was able to turn my strengths into my career. But, you know, I could have been stuck in this dead end job doing accounting, which I wouldn't have enjoyed, you know?
Well, I don't think you would. I don't think you ever would have done that, because what I'm hearing you say, there's so many of the personality assessments, and, you know, the one I use when I coach is StrengthsFinder, which, you know, and a lot of times what I'll get is I'll say, okay, here's a strategy that you might want to implement. And someone will say, but I can't do that because my strength is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And what I hear you saying is it's great to understand through the personality test, but never to let it define you. Because
no,
you
because
could have really let
yeah,
that test say you're not supposed to be an accountant. You could have been full of despair and hopelessness and say, well, great, the rest of my life is going to be horrible because I've picked a career, or quit.
right. No, another thing about, I love StrengthsFinder. Another thing about StrengthsFinder is, you know, you have your strengths and you should try to work up to your strengths or use those to the most of your advantage. But some of those weaknesses or some of the necessary skill sets, you have to work on obtaining to be successful in life. So strength is a good thing, you know, if, like for me, you can imagine my strength is harmony. Now imagine my job as a tax auditor. I contact you. You're not going to be very harmonious towards me, and I want harmony at any cost, right? So that's really hard. So, but I had no choice. To be successful at my job, I had to learn assertiveness and work with harmony. So I tried the personal stuff first, right? When I would meet a taxpayer, like, oh, how are you? How is, or some other accountants. And it was really funny because I was able to blend the two because I had to be assertive to do my job. I had no choice as a tax auditor. So while we should work towards our strengths, there's certain skill sets that we have to master to be successful in our careers, whether it's us or not. You know what I'm saying? Because that career demands those skill sets to be successful.
Right. No, yeah, I think that's right. So I was looking right now I can't log in to the strengths. Let me see if I can pull it up on my app. I think it would be funny. Most of people that listen to this, you have a few more minutes. So I have one question after this. You don't have anywhere to be, right?
No. I just hope my battery doesn't die.
Oh, okay. So I think it would be funny to see what your top 5 are and what number they are for me. I think that would be amusing. I'll download a new app.
I'm harmony, input, a developer. Oh, I'm trying to remember the other two. I can't recall the other two right now.
I can't remember them either.
I know those. I'm a big input. I love research. I'm always gathering information. So, and then I like to listen to all sides. Anytime I try to make a decision, I love to play the devil's advocate. I listen to all sides. And then in the end, I'll do what I want to do. But I have to have all sides to make my decision. And I'm always prepared for the worst possible scenario consequence of my decision. Once I make it, it's like, no, if it doesn't work out the way I want to, I was already prepared to do that. I have to look at that aspect before I make a decision. So I love input. I love information. I'm definitely a developer. I love to develop people. I love to see strengths in them and weaknesses and try to work on what makes them happy and what sometimes the job requires, right? You got to develop certain skill sets.
So my developer is 17.
Okay.
My input is 19.
Yeah, that sounds right. Harmony?
29.
Yes.
Out of 34.
Could have told you that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You are because you have my smile, so.
34 adaptability.
Oh. Let's not go there and say we did.
I like to think that my lack of adaptability is a strength.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for spending all your time chatting today. Is there anything that you want to tell the people?
Well, I'd just like to tell everyone that just be grateful for every day. During these tough times, it can be very discouraging. But I truly get up in the morning and I'm thankful to be alive, and I'm thankful to put my legs work, that I put my feet on the ground, or whatever way we get around. Just be grateful to be alive and relish the things that we have, and just do your best. Try your best in anything that you endeavor to make. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's okay. Nothing is the end of life except life itself.
Yeah.
And so we just keep on trying every day. That's what I plan to do.
I love it.
And one goal in life is to get my daughter smiling all the time. So, because she has an amazing smile.
Is this one?
Yeah, that's the fake one.
Oh. And I smile the most when people buy things. So I think that's what my mom is saying. Make sure you buy something. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh.
No, but so you mean if I want you to smile around the house, I gotta pay you?
You can.
No, not happening. I'll still keep on trying. Hey, you gotta have a goal that may or may not be attainable, but we'll try. Remember, I said you gotta keep on trying your
That's
best.
right. Okay, so then I have two more quick questions for you before you go. How does
Okay.
it feel to have parented such an independent child?
Great, great.
And my next question is, when are you gonna fill up all the Tupperware that's empty? With food.
I know Charlie washes them and gives them nicely back to me, so I can fill them up again. So yeah, did you finish the ones I gave you last week?
Oh yeah, everything's gone. It's just funny
Oh.
because like you think you end up with this independent child and then you get, hey mom, can you fill up this Tupperware so I don't have to cook for the week?
You actually never ask. I just do it.
Yeah. It's
You're
perfect.
not a very much.
No, but I'll take it right now.
Yes, you take when I give, but you don't ask.
Unless I'm sick, and then I do.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. Say
Thank
bye
you.
to everyone.
Bye bye. Wish everyone the best. Take care. Bye bye.